Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Table Talk. Today we're doing a top 10 party games.
We're doing a top 10 party game because the holidays is coming up, and if you want to know what good games to play with your family, these are the ones we recommend.
At least with large number counts.
Okay, so we're going to do honorable mentions first.
Yeah, we'll do some honorable mentions.
Okay, you want to go first?
I have 3 honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
At the bottom of that honorable mention list is Codenames. I really like Codenames. They also have many variations of it, like pictures. They have Disney pictures. There's, I think, a Harry Potter.
They have
Duet. There's The Simpsons. There's variations of them, so you can definitely cater to the fandom of which you like as well, or the IP, which is really cool. But because of the footprint that it takes up, and everyone's gonna kind of crowd around that table, like even if you have a large group, that's why it's kind of been bumped off, because there's another game that I've kind of replaced it.
Okay. I'm going next, or are you going?
You want to do all of them, mine?
Sure, because I have 2.
Okay. So, other honorable mention is Joking Hazard for me. It's mostly because it fits in line of the Cards Against Humanity, if you guys heard of that, which, that's kind of got really popular and helped with the younger crowd to get into board games, in my opinion. Joking Hazard I prefer, because instead of making a joke, you're making a comic strip. But I'm slowly growing out of the adult humor, mostly because my lovely wife here does not like the adult humor, so I'm kind of like getting away from it, mostly.
Okay.
And my last honorable mention is Avalon. I think it's a good party game, a bit of hidden identity, but with giving a single hint, that has also been replaced on my top 10.
Okay.
So
my 2 honorable mentions is Codenames also. I like Codenames because it can play a lot of people. The thing that I don't like about Codenames is the downtime. The spy is thinking...
it's your other team's turn. It's like, what are we doing?
What do? You just sit there?
As a codemaster, just to counterpoint, as the codemaster, you're trying to think of your next word.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's just difficult.
Yeah.
But as far as a team, as far as I can say, you table talk and just try to get them in the wrong direction. That's about it. Or you could be the nice and just be quiet and do nothing.
Exactly. But because of the downtime, it's not real fun for me. And then also, I'm terrible at Spy Master. Those few times I was like, play Spy Master, and I give a hint, and people guess the assassin one, and it's just like, okay, I'm not good at this. I can't be the Spy Master. And then the other one is, What Do You Mean? I like What Do You Mean because it's kind of like the Cards Against Humanity. Instead, you have a picture and you give captions for the picture, and
you create a meme.
Yeah, and so it's you play the same way. The difference is with the picture, and you make captions. And the only reason it's honorable mention is because it is more like adult theme humor.
It can rides that line.
Yes.
Depending with the crowd you're playing with, you can make it adult. And I think it came with like a little pack of like NSFW.
More adults. And it had the little symbol so you could sort that out if you want to try to play with kids. You can sort that out. But even the non-adult cards, some of them, they're kid-friendly. And then some of them are a little bit, skating that line. Yes, so...
Or it has an adult joke that it would just over the kid's head, but the adults will be like, ha ha ha, and the kids will be like, what?
I like it. For me, party games, I would like to play more with family, so more family-friendly. And that's why that one is on the honorable mentions. Otherwise, it's a really great game. It's not as adult as Cards Against Humanity. That's like
Joking Hazard.
Yeah, that's just way.
With mine, that kind of fits that.
Way too. This is a more mild one. All right. So now Party game number 10, I guess. You want me to go
Party
first?
game number 10. Since I had 3, you had 2. Yeah, you
Okay.
start the list.
So, my first party game is Sushi Go and Sushi Go Party. There's 2 Sushi Go's. I think just the basic Sushi Go plays up to like 5 players, I
Yeah,
think.
Sushi Go is 5.
And
Sushi Go
Sushi-
Party is 8.
8. It's basically the same game. You're card drafting, which that means is you have a hand of cards. You take one card, you pass the hand of cards to the next player, you reveal what you keep, and then you grab the next hand and continue that pattern of grabbing one card per hand. And whoever has the most points wins. The reason this is number 10 is because it does require a little bit more knowledge playing the game. It's very easy. Like, you just grab a card. But if you want to try to win or score well, you got to know what you're grabbing to do well. And so it takes a little bit more work to play well. But it is a great, easy family game.
With that, I totally agree. I will say the party takes a little bit more effort in actual setup and stuff because it also adds because more players adds variety to the game. Where just basic Sushi Go.
You just shuffle the cards and deal.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a set number of set cards, and you just deal with them. And it's more portable. So
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
But before we continue,
Okay.
how many crossovers do you think we're gonna have?
I don't know. I would say... Well, we just had a crossover of Codenames with the honorable mentions. Does that count?
Sure, but
So-
now we just don't count honorable mentions. So
Okay.
just the top 10.
Maybe 3 or 4. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking 2.
Okay, wow, okay. Well, go.
No, 3. I'll say 3.
Okay.
I'll go 3. Okay. All right. I'm going to be so wrong the more I think about this. So my number 10 is still skates that line of could be adult, and it's actually the Game of Things.
Okay.
Basically, it's been a minute since I played this one. But basically, everyone gets a little piece of paper. There's a huge deck of cards. You just draw one. It's a prompt. Everyone writes a response to said prompt on this piece of paper. And it'd be good to have some type of hat or bag or some type of thing that you need to add to the game. Everyone, anyway, folds their response up or whatever, puts it in the bag, and then the person who's the guesser is trying to guess, and then I think the person on their left or the right,
It
whatever,
doesn't matter. Someone is recording.
someone is shaking the bag and pulling a response, and then reading the response to the person who's trying to get points, and then he has to guess which response went to which player.
So it's like, how well do you know your friends, and how are they going to fill in this blank?
Right. And then table kind of goes around in that way where everyone has an opportunity to do that and then move on to the next prompt and so on and so forth and get points.
Yeah.
So I really like it. I think, like I said, the only issues I really have with it is the fact that a lot of paper and having to add some type of element which be appreciated to mix things up. I mean, you could use a box lid or something, but...
Okay. Well, that's a good game. It is. How many players can it play? Unlimited?
Actually, I don't think there is a limit.
But
But
the
I
more
think-
players, the longer. You gotta guess more prompts and all
So
that.
many. So
Okay.
my recommendation is like no more than 8,
Yeah.
12 maybe. 12 might be fine. But
Yeah, that is a good game.
that's your general player count too. So
Alrighty. So, you want to go next with number 9?
Sure. My number 9 is cooperative. Oh, let's see.
Oh.
I forgot. No, that's fine. Yeah. So my number 9 is a bit on the cooperative side, and it's just one.
Okay.
Because it's a fun game where everyone's trying to. Well, it's funny because it's similar, but anyway, I draw a card, I pick a number, I can't see this card. Everyone else has to write a single word clue on little dry erase things, and then as the guesser, I need to close my eyes. Everyone compares their answers. If in the similarities or same answers are eliminated from the pool, anything that's remaining will be faced towards the guesser, and then the guesser can open their eyes, and then based on whatever clues they have to guess the word on the card that they unknowingly picked.
Okay, so, well, one thing is you want to try to have different words or unique words. That way you don't match with other people, so the guesser could have more hints. So, yeah, that's a good game.
There is a point system involved, but we have actually played that game where we just had two people who owned the game combine their copies and just made it just keep going until we're tired of this, which...
It was pretty fun.
That was really fun. Also higher chance of matching, also higher chance of having more clues regardless of matches.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Okay. My number 9 is Color Brain. There are different versions of Color Brain, but basically you will have a question like, what color is Winnie the Pooh's shirt? It'll be one color. And then everybody, you could do by yourself or team base, pick the color. And then...
Yes, because there is 4 decks of colors, so...
Yeah. And if you guess it right, you get points based on how many people get it wrong. So if everybody gets it right, the point rolls over to the next one. And I like that one. Although I am not very good with these prompts. Like, we have the Disney version.
Wait, you said everyone gets it right? No, if everyone gets it wrong,
yeah, if everyone...
it rolls over. If everyone gets it right, then everyone gets the...
No, it also rolls over. No,
Okay.
If everyone gets it wrong, there's no points awarded. If everyone gets it right, the point rolls over. Yes. Okay. We have the Disney version, which is a little bit easier for me because I actually know Disney characters. But if you get the regular Color Brain, it's like random things.
Well, I mean, sometimes they're easy, like color of a penguin.
Yeah.
2 colors, maybe 3.
But
include the feet.
I thought it was a great family-friendly party game because it could hold a lot of people. And so I like that one.
Okay.
Am I gonna go which
number 8?
Number 8. So my number 8 is Just One. We already went over Just One, but I like Just One because it can hold a lot of people. It's family friendly. So yeah. All right.
I mean,
That's our one overlap so far.
So one.
Okay.
My number 8 is Dixit Odyssey, specifically Odyssey version of the game, because it has a player count of 12, opposed to basic Dixit that has 8.
No, 6. Basic Dixit is 8. 6.
But so yeah, Dixit Odyssey doubles the player count, which is nice.
It does. The other difference, it allows you to have 2 guesses if you want. Like, basic Dixit is 6 players, you get 1 guess. But with 12 players, you get 2 guess, which you can try to use to guess, or you could do 1 guess and get more points if you get it right.
Okay. So, I mean, you're more familiar with Dixit. So you want to help me explain this one?
So you have these picture cards. You give a description. You don't want it too obvious because you don't want everybody to get the picture that you have.
Everybody makes a guess with these tokens that have numbers 1 through...
Okay, well, you're skipping things. Okay, so you make a description, and then everybody gives you a card based on your description. You shuffle up your card with the other cards given to you. You lay them out, and then... everybody wants to try to guess your card. Now, you can't make it too obvious because if everybody guesses, you don't get any points. But if nobody guesses, you also don't get any points. So, ideally, you want at least one person to guess your card. So, yeah. And then the points get distributed a certain way. But, get the game and you can learn to play.
Please. Thank you.
Okay. You can say what you need instead of just point. Okay. So, yeah. Dixit is a good game. All right. So, what number was that?
8 for me.
Okay, well, you gotta go number 7.
7. This one I got reminded of yesterday.
Okay.
Deception. Is it Deception in Hong Kong?
Oh, yeah?
Yes, that game. So basically, it's
Clue-like?
It's Clue-like. It's Mysterium-like kind of deal. So basically... everyone's going to have 6 cards in front of them, or 8 cards. We don't own it, so trying to figure this out based on memory here. So I believe, yes, it's 8 cards, and you have 4 weapons and 4
persons,
motives,
okay.
or places, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there is one person who is like the ghost, or the person who was murdered, I think, or like the lead detective of some kind. And they'll have these tiles in front of them that has lists of various things. There's technically a stack of them, but they can only have 3 in front of them. At some point, they could like discard one to replace it with another one, to get more clues, because these are all clues. And they also have these bullets that they'll put on certain words to try to lean everyone in the right direction of
the killer.
The killer.
Yes.
Now, one of the players at the table is a killer, and I think there's also an assistant or accomplice as well.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone also has a little token that has a little badge on it, because there will be the ghost places their bullets as clues. There will be discussion, and then a person can burn their badge, because they only get one, to make an accusation or a guess, and the ghost kind of confirms or denies this, I think. And the game will kind of go through this in rounds until everyone figures out who the murder and the accomplice is, or I think after a set number of rounds, if they can't figure out, the murder gets away with it.
Mm-hmm. So I do recall playing this one time, long time ago, like years ago.
Like when it came out.
Yes. It was a big party group. I don't remember how many people played with us. I had enjoyed it. The only issue is I don't recall it well enough to say, like, ooh, top 10. So
right, I played it like 3 times.
Okay, so you have a little more experience.
Well, not just that, but another list here. But one of my favorite, more classic games is Clue, so that kind of taps into that.
Okay, yeah.
That favoritism. I'm a little biased in that regard.
So yeah, I do like the game, but I don't have enough experience to put it in a top 10 for me. Okay, so that was number 7?
7 for me.
So my number 7. Okay, let me unlock the password. Okay, I should have put numbers next to these things.
Probably.
So Clover?
That's your number 7?
Yeah, So Clover, number 7.
All right.
Okay, so Clover, I think you can code up to 6 people. I'm not really sure. But
I think it's 8.
I don't know.
But it's 8, and I will say that it is the same people who did just one.
Yes.
So
you have a little clover. You get 4 cards that you put into your clover.
On your clover.
And then there's words that kind of come together, and you're supposed to give some hints.
A clue. One word
clue. They like these one-word clues.
Combines the 2 things. So
yes.
Basically, if I have, let's say this is my clover, I have 3 square cards. Each of them have a word on it for all 4 sides. But then the 2 that are here, the 2 that are facing on that side, are the 2 that I'm trying to match up. Let's say it's something like fire and person. Maybe you could do arsonist.
Yes.
To do that, and then you have to do that for all 4 sides, and then you're going to grab a 5th card, mix them all up with the cards that take your cards off, mix them all up, and then everyone's doing this simultaneously, and then you just kind of pick who's going to go first. They review their clover, throw the 5 cards out there, and then everyone at the table that didn't partake in that one clover has to figure out the orientation and
the placement
of all of the cards.
So I like how you got
two guesses.
Yes, 2 guesses. 2 guesses. First guess you get bonus if you guess it right all at the first time, and second one you just get points on based on how many you get right if you didn't get it the first time. But I like how you have to be like witty or, like really smart to try to think of a clue that matched both words. And sometimes there's no clue that matched both words, but I really like that aspect. And I feel like there's a little less pressure because you're working as a team to figure this out. You're working as a team to figure out, whoever's clover it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially
versus
the reverse of just one.
Yes, versus just one. This pressured one person to guess the word. So I like this teamwork part of it.
Right, and the toughest part
is thinking of a word.
Is it's always the solo player's circumstance. Just one. It's trying to figure out the clue or the word based on everyone else's clue. In So Clover, it's trying to figure out words that help coordinate the other two words. Because as you mentioned, sometimes there's just nothing you can come up with, and you just try to figure something out.
I'm numbering my games right now, so I don't have to be confused. But yeah, you can go.
I believe that was number 7 for you.
That was number 7 for me. Is it my turn?
Yes, you're number 6.
Okay, my number 6 is Taboo. So there's a lot of word games because the word games are very easy to make family friendly. Word games are easy to get a lot of people. So I guess I lean towards word games with party games. But Taboo, you could break up into teams, and then one person has a list of words they cannot say to describe the one word that you're trying to get their team to say. And so if you say one of those taboo words, the other team gets a point. But if you could describe your word and your team guess it, you get a point. And you have a timer, obviously, trying to see how many words your team can guess.
Taboo's been around for a long time.
I think it's a classic family party game.
Yeah, that's almost like Clue and Sorry and those classic.
Yes.
Almost.
Yes.
Almost.
So I like Taboo. It's a
2 years on that.
It's a timeless game.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
6. Where are we at? 6. Yes. Okay. So another cooperative game of mine, and I think I enjoy One Key.
Okay.
It's a really fun
picture game.
There's an app that you can get to download to incorporate with it.
It's like a timer.
Yes, it's a timer, and there's a way you can play without it. Anyway, so once again, there's going to be a screen and somebody who's got to pick a thing, right? So they'll have, I think, 11 images. They have to pick the one they like. In the app, you could punch in, because they all have numbers on the back, you could punch in the number so you don't forget. And then they will then shuffle them up and lay them all out on the other side of their screen. And then
they give other pictures as hints.
Yes, that's right. They'll give other pictures as hints.
Like similar to my picture, not similar to my picture, semi-similar to my picture.
Yes.
So
and
it's
then
like
everyone else can try to sort them based on those kind of 3 columns that they'll have in front of them. And then it's after each round, I think it's 3 or 4 rounds, they will decide which ones they really do not agree with, and they'll be eliminated from the pile. And then another clue will be given, and then reorganization, and then more elimination.
And at the end, you're trying to guess what picture
is the person that is organizing, essentially.
What is his picture?
Yes, what is the picture? It's great. And if you, of course, eliminated it too early, then everyone loses.
Yeah.
So
it's a cute little game.
Yes.
All right. So which number was that?
6.
6. Okay, so you do number 5.
Wait, what was your 6?
Taboo, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So my number 5, detracting from game, more of an activity, is telestrations. There is
a basic telestration.
There's a couple variations of the game. There is basic, which is 8. There is like a party edition, which is 12.
Oh, okay.
And there's After Dark, which makes it more adult. And I think there might be some other versions. But those are the 3 that I've seen on shelves all the time.
Okay.
We own one of them. And yeah, basically it's telephone, which
But
has
with
been
drawing.
around forever, where whisper in someone's ear, except with drawings and words. So everyone has this little tablet or
Flip book.
notepad, flip
Uh-huh.
book, and everyone draws a card. They need to pick a word off the card. Depending on even or odd players, depends on how it starts off. But generally speaking, someone will
Draw
write that
the
word,
card.
and then the next person will have to draw it, and then the next person will have to write
Guess.
what they draw.
They
and
guess
then
the drawing.
They guess the drawing.
And it just goes in a circle until you get back
Until you get back to your
Notepad.
original notepad, and then you go through, and then there's a point system. Like whoever get it right, or if you get everyone goes all the way through and gets it correct. But we don't really play the point system.
We just play for like the funny drawings and the guesses because I don't even know the point system. We think we've done it like once or twice.
Yes, I do know that somebody created a online version of this. They call it Gartic Phone, which is really fun. I've seen a couple other YouTubers play this, and yeah, it's basically that. And they have various other modes as well, so it's really interesting what they've done with it.
All right, so my number 5, Telestrations.
Hey, look, another overlap.
Yeah, so yeah, we just kind of described Telestration. The reason I like it is you get a good laugh out of it. Like, oh, how do you draw this? Oh, your drawing is terrible. Oh, like, how did you not guess my word? It's funny. We do have surprisingly, we have the After Dark version, the adult one. We got it like on sale, and that's the reason I bought it. And surprisingly, we had a good time.
But I mean, they're After Dark. The cards with the words on them.
Some of them are not adults. Like
there's at least one word on every card that's a clean,
Yes.
family-friendly word.
yes.
I feel like there are double-sided, so
You have plenty of words to choose from.
yes,
For sure.
But there is at least one. Sometimes it's half the card is
Okay.
clean.
So my number 4 party game is Werewords. And Werewords is slightly different than, what's it called? Werewolf?
Werewolf. Yes. There's many werewolves.
Okay, so Werewords is where you have one person, they pick a word, and everybody, the mayor, and everybody has different characters that, some character does stuff, some characters don't.
Very similar to Werewolf, which is kind of where it derives from, where villagers, werewolves, and potentially special characters.
They're the same makers. But with Werewords, people are asking yes or no questions, and the mayor, the person who picked the word, answers yes or no questions, or maybe. There's also a maybe. And then the people are trying to guess what the word is. And there are these werewolves who are trying to guess something else, like
well, they're trying to lead the direction to
they-
in a slightly different, like in
astray.
the wrong way.
Exactly.
Or there is the concept, the timer in which people have an opportunity to ask questions. There, you can get the app that gives you the timer, but there's also the timer of
how many questions you can ask.
If you run out of tokens to answer for the mayor, then that also ends the game. If you run out of tokens and you can't figure it out, then the werewolves win. Or if the timer runs out.
Yeah. It's similar to Werewolf. The reason I like this one better is it's slightly a hidden identity, but it's not as strong of a hidden identity game compared to the One Night Werewolf game, which is definitely more hidden identity.
Yeah,
And,
I will admit I do prefer Werewolf. That's not One Night. I think it's just Ultimate Werewolf.
Oh, well, I don't know the variations of them.
Oh, the difference is in One Night Werewolf, literally the werewolf kills somebody, and then we all have to accuse a werewolf. It's like with not really much information.
Yeah.
Where Ultimate, I believe, goes over many nights. So it's like werewolf kills somebody. There's a discussion. You can vote somebody out, or you cannot. Then there's another night. Werewolf kills another person.
It's a longer
it's a little bit longer game, and you have like
hints.
more information throughout the game to gather to be like, I think it's that person.
You're the werewolf. Okay. So yeah. So this is one of the few hidden identity games I like.
Yes.
Words, not werewolf.
So we're on number 4, right?
I think so. Yes.
So, surprise, surprise. Werewords.
Oh, what is that? That's 3 overlaps already?
I think so.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, nothing else to add. I will say, for my honorable mentions, this is the game that replaced Avalon.
Okay.
So, for me, as a hidden identity and all that, I will say there are maybe some bias as well because I've played this one more recently than Avalon. But yeah, nothing really else to add.
Okay. Then I think is it
The next one.
Yeah, number
We're
3.
at number 3.
Okay, what's your number 3?
That's So Clover.
Okay, that's number 4. There's 4
3.
overlaps now,
That's
I
yes.
think. Yeah.
So That's So Clover is mine. We've went over it when it was on your list.
Uh-huh.
I don't really have much anything to add.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my number 3.
Okay, then I should have guessed higher. I was gonna guess 5 overlap, but you seem to think that we weren't gonna have a lot of overlap. So my number 3 is Gestures. It's very similar to charades. I really don't know the difference. Maybe like company's name, they gotta change names for like copyright reason or whatever. But Gestures is where you have a card. You get 4 cards. You could choose easy, medium, or hard. There are different point values if you choose easy, medium, or hard. You act it out within a certain time frame. You try and get your teammates to guess what the word is. So, yeah, it's a really great family game. The kids loved it, or at least the cousins. We don't have any kids yet. I
think the difference is that this is a manufactured game, where charades at this point is
it's just you write some
basically
things
everyone writes a thing and then put
Okay.
them all in a hat and someone draws it and acts it out.
Okay, so yeah,
Gestures. It does come with
little action thing.
the thing they do in movies.
I don't know what it's called.
What is that thing called?
And you're like, action.
Right, and you put cards at the top, but there's a little thing that you have to
It's a
set that makes the timer, right? And then
You act
when
out
you
the word.
close it or you do the thing, it presses a button that starts the timer, and as the timer progresses, the cards will actually drop if you do not get them in time.
Yeah, that way you need to move on to the next word.
Yes, it helps move the game on a little bit. So that's your number
I think number 3. Or 2.
3. Mine was That's So Clover. I think that was your number 3.
Yeah, number 3.
Moving on to number 2.
All right, Dixit. And I like both Dixits. I like the Dixit that plays 6-player, and I like the Dixit that's Odyssey.
I didn't have a preference over. I just said specifically Odyssey for this list being a party game, higher player count.
Okay, well, I think
That's
6
the
is,
only
to
reason.
me, 6 is also considered party. I actually like 6 more because it gives you chips that are 1 through 6, and you just pick a chip and flip it over. Compared to the Dixit Odyssey for 12 players, you have a board and you put a little pin in your gas, and it's a little finicky. So I don't really like that, and I think the holes wear down, the more you play it, and the pins go in and out the holes. So I actually like the 1 to 6 because of the wear and tear aspect of it.
But yeah,
And then you can buy expansions for more cards for different pictures, and then they have different artists. So like if you buy this expansion, it has a different one art style, and then a different expansion you have a different art style. With the expansions, I have preferences with art styles, so before you buy expansion, definitely look at some of the artwork and see which style you like, and that way you don't buy an expansion of pictures that you don't care for.
Alternatively, you can just, if you don't have a preference, buy them all, and then there's a possibility you will never see the same image twice in a game.
Yeah. And when you buy the game, it does leave room to add the expansions into.
A couple of them.
It leaves room for 2 or 3 expansions to add into the box.
Countless.
There's a lot.
There's
Yeah.
a lot.
All right. So is it my turn to do number 1?
No, because that's my number 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, do number 2.
My number 2 is one that we don't own, and is what replaced Codenames for me
Oh, okay.
as a word game. But in the same vein as most of the games on our list, it's Word Slam that
Oh.
we've played with iHeart Board Games, not on this channel, just when we get to know them a little bit. And I really like the game. It's basically there are various decks of difficulty, there is 2 teams, and people, similar to Codenames, in which everyone kind of crowds around the table, but everyone doesn't have to like hover over to look at all the words displayed.
Yeah, we gotta
on the
hover
thing.
at the trays of words.
Right, which like I could at least be kind of like behind somebody, looking over shoulders to look at the words. I don't have to sit on the table to see it.
Okay.
Right. So anyway, so there'll be 2 leaders or players.
And you can take turns.
Like the Codemasters in Codenames.
Yeah.
They can rotate, and they'll draw a card. They'll pick a word. They'll agree on or they'll roll a dice to pick a word. They'll agree that they both understand what this word is, and it's like, yeah, we can do this. And then
you have different stacks of word hits that kind of describe things. Like there's a stack of colors. There's a stack of
it's like it's like more like adjectives, nouns, descriptive things like short, tall.
Yeah.
Big, small kind of thing, and various things like that.
Yeah, and then you go through the stacks, try and pick out words to help
and put them on a stand. But yeah, it's just like if we were in 2 different teams, I would say word. You would say
slam,
and then we frantically go through these decks
because there is a timer,
and try to put them on these stands, and then everyone else who's crowding around
or guessing words,
just shouting out words until someone gets it right or the timer runs out.
You can hear the other team guessing words, so they're like, oh, because in case your team didn't put out enough hits, you could guess
I'm
words.
Struggling finding one clue that I'm like, where's hot? I can't find hot.
Sometimes the other team can hear
fire.
The hits, and then they guess based off your guess, and they get the word. I'm like, you should have been a little more quieter. So yeah, it's a good game. We actually are about to own it because we're gonna go to a convention, and we're gonna be getting the game at a convention.
Yeah, we're going to purchase it.
It's on the way.
It's on the way.
Yes, so that's a good game.
All right, so
okay,
now
that was number 2.
That was number 2. So
okay,
now
number 1.
My number 1.
I think we're gonna have the same number 1 game.
So probably this should be no surprise if you've seen our previous top 10. My number 1 party game is Blank Slate.
Yeah, my number 1 party game is also Blank Slate.
So yes, that was on both of our top 10 lists.
We do have a how to play if you're curious of how to play Blank Slate.
It's a very simple game. Draw a card. It's usually a compound word. Half of that word is a blank.
It's not a compound.
Blank truck. You can make fire
truck. It's not necessarily a compound word. It could be a 2-word thing that.
Okay, but
it's 1 word, and there's a blank either before or after it, and you have to fill in the blank and try to match with 1 person. Could you get more points if you match with 1 person?
Right. Well, essentially, what everyone's making is that 1 word we're turning into compound word.
Not necessarily. If we truck stop, that's not a compound word.
True.
Okay, so it's not necessarily a compound word. It could be a 2-word phrase.
Either way.
Okay.
Yes, you match with 1 person, you get 3 points. Mm-hmm. You match with multiple people, everyone who matched gets 1 point.
You don't match with anybody, you don't get any points.
And then you just keep going over, just pulling a deck, drawing new words until
filling in the blank. The game actually has
25 or
25
40?
points. 25. The game has boards for 8 players, but we actually played with more people. All we did was have like paper and pencil, and then we used the whiteboard to write everyone's name. Yeah,
we used just one. Their dry erase deals as other boards.
Yeah. So you could definitely play with more than 8 players. It's just
you just need to add to it and grab necessary components to do so, or have multiple copies of the game. You still need a dry erase board because multiple people have the same color.
Okay, but it is our favorite family game. So what? How many overlaps was that? Like 6?
I think 5.
5? I was gonna guess 5, but you seemed like you were gonna like get games way out there, and I wasn't gonna match up with you, and that's why I guess 3 or 4.
No. So. Anyway, that's our top 10 party games we recommend if you have large family gatherings
and
for
like
the holidays,
to play games,
and like to play games, or even just want to have a game around that
with friends,
to friends, get-togethers, what have you. These are our essentially top 10 recommendations for those type of events.
All right, well, thanks for watching.
Please like and subscribe.
Bye-bye for now.
See you in the next one.